Hi, I'm Bud. Welcome to the channel. This channel is designed to help you tackle the various odd jobs around the home. Today, we're going to tackle garage door noise. I'm going to show you a few fantastic tips that will help you eliminate most of the noise in your garage door. That's up next. The first and most significant step that you need to take is to eliminate those old garage door rollers. You need to replace them with a new nylon sealed bearing roller. I have a former video in which I show you step by step how you can easily replace those rollers. I'll leave a link to that video up here in the corner so that you can check that out. I've seen many channels show you that you need to remove the hinges to replace those rollers. That's not necessary. You can do it with one tool, and that's a claw hammer. I'll show you how to do it in that video. Replacing your garage door rollers is much easier than you can imagine. It only takes about 15 minutes and it gives you significant noise reduction. As a matter of fact, I use a decimal meter in that video to compare before and after noise readings, and you can see that the noise reduction is about 10 decibels overall. I'm going to further reduce noise today by taking additional steps showing you how to properly lube and clean your door, and by doing this you're going to gain even more noise reduction. Before we get started, I wanted to take the opportunity to acknowledge Amplified DIY's YouTube channel. Amplified DIY has a video out there about reducing squeaks in your garage door opener, and he does an excellent job of showing you the materials and the methods necessary to clean the garage door. He gets into a lot of detail that I won't go into today, so I encourage you to check out his channel for that information. He also talks about his belt drive garage door opener. My garage door opener is a screw drive garage door opener, and the methods for cleaning and lubricating a screw drive garage door opener is quite different than a belt drive. So I wanted the opportunity to show you the steps to properly lubricate a screw drive garage door opener. I wanted to talk a little bit about the lubricants that I'm going to use today to eliminate those squeaks. I'll be using two different types of grease in lubricating my garage door today. Both of the greases that I'll be using are white lithium-based greases. First of all, I'm going to use this liquid-based white lithium grease, and I'll use this to apply on the hinges and also on the stems of the rollers. This comes in an aerosol form with a straw to help you easily apply the grease into tight places. For the screw drive, I'm going to be specifically using this thicker white lithium grease that comes in a squeeze tube. This grease is specifically designed for high friction parts. It helps reduce wear and it lasts much longer than the liquid-based grease. So I'll be applying this to the drive mechanism. Before we begin to apply either one of these greases, you want to make sure that your surfaces are properly cleaned and prepared. I'm going to show you the steps necessary to clean your roller tracks and also to clean your screw drive shuttle. Let's get started. First important step is that you clean these roller tracks on both sides very well. This is my second pass, and it's not as dirty as it was on the first pass. There was significant accumulations of dirt and grease in these tracks. You want to leave them dry. Do not apply any lubricant to these tracks. The second step is to apply the white liquid lithium grease to all of the hinges and also to the stems on the rollers. You want to remove any excess of grease as you move on to the next part. Make sure that you grease anything that would move on the garage door, and make sure you apply liberal amounts of grease. It's important to note that you do not need to grease the rollers themselves, particularly if you have the type that I have. I have a nylon sealed bearing roller, so it's not necessary to apply any grease to these rollers. Additionally, you want to be careful not to get any of the grease within the track itself. The track should remain dry. The third step is cleaning the track and the trolley that rides on the track. When you clean the screw drive track, you want to take your time and make sure you remove all the residual grease. When I first started cleaning this, it had a significant amount of grease both on the top and bottom of the track rail. In my particular track, I have a trolley that rides on the inner lip. It rides on the top and the bottom portion of that inner lip. I wanted to make sure that I removed all of the residual grease out of that inner track. So I used a screwdriver and a paper towel, and I scored that surface several times to ensure that I removed all the excess dirt and grease. It takes a little while, but it's important to get this thoroughly clean to eliminate any of the corrosive material that might be contained in that grease before applying the white lithium grease. Okay, next we need to remove the trolley. So once we release the trolley from the track, we can pull the cotter pin and remove the pin so it's detached from the door. Now it's just a matter of detaching the rail from the wall so that we can remove the trolley. To detach the rail from the wall, it's simply a matter of removing the retaining nut that holds the rail to the wall retaining bracket. Once that nut is off, you can slide the trolley forward so that it can be removed off the end of the rail. To get it off the end of the rail, you need to move the rail in the upper position to give enough clearance to clear the end of the rail. With the trolley off, I began the process of cleaning the trolley. First, I wiped all excess of grease off the trolley, and then I put it into a solution to soak for a while. After it had soaked for a pretty good period of time, I started to move in the mechanism, and I used a paper towel to kind of tap out all the grease. It was amazing to me the amount of grease that was packed inside that trolley. You can see I left it soaked for a considerable amount of time, and there's still a huge amount of grease that's coming out of this thing. So I soaked it for a little bit longer. Eventually I was able to clear the majority of the grease out of there. To finish up, I just sprayed some air in there to dry it and to clean any excess of grease out. So with my trolley all cleaned up, I slide it back on the track, insert the track back into the wall mount, attach the nut, and then with the nut attached, it's just a matter of reattaching the door connection to the trolley and secure it with the cotter pin. With my track reassembled, it's just a matter of taking the thicker white lithium grease and applying it to the length of the rail, ensuring that I coat the screw liberally with the grease. With that done, I just take a rag and wipe off the excess. Now all we need to do is raise the door repeatedly to work the grease in very well. So the likely question on your mind is, how effective was the application of grease? So I'm going to show you here in the next video segments. The first video segment you're going to see is after I replaced the rollers but before I applied the grease. So in this scene, this was taken from the previous video. You can see by looking at the max reading and the decimal meter that we have a before clean and lube max of 74.7 decibels. Now let's look at after. So after the application of grease, my maximum decibel reading was 69.6. So the application of grease resulted in a 5 decibel reduction in noise. If you add to that the 10 decibel reduction in noise that I got from the installation of the nylon rollers, we have a total noise reduction of 15 decibels. Pretty significant, I would say. Hey, if you might be interested in more information about either one of these lubricants, I will leave product links in the description below the video. Hopefully you found this information helpful. If you did, there's a little share icon below this video. You might want to click on that and share it with someone who has a loud and squeaky garage door. Thanks for watching today, and we'll see you next time.